One of the biggest challenges when you're trying to lose weight is food temptations. It's even tougher when you're in a situation, as Manny mentioned in a comment on a recent video, where his family doesn't share the same goals as him. So there's always junk food in the house, whether it's ice cream, cookies, or chips that are tempting him. And Rocco chimed in saying he's in a similar situation, but it's his roommate who's always bringing in the junk food. I know for myself personally, I can totally relate to Manny's situation, as I'm going to share in a moment. But first of all, I'd love to hear if you can relate to this situation, if this is one of your biggest challenges when it comes to losing weight as well. So please take a moment to share your experiences in a comment down below. Now, Manny, the first thing I would recommend to you is that although your family may not share the same goals as you, they can still be supportive in helping you achieve your goal. So I would mention to them why it's so important for you to achieve this goal. And I wouldn't make it so much about the weight loss or body image, especially when you're talking with your kids. You are a role model for them. So you are leading by example here. They're going to be watching all your moves and picking up on all these different cues. So you want to set the best example possible. So I'd really recommend making this process about feeling your best, really performing your best, and thriving in all aspects of your life. So when you're talking, and let them know that I want to not only be here for as long as I possibly can so I can cherish every priceless moment with you guys, but I want to be able to give the best of myself to each moment that I'm spending with you. So I have seen this really have a positive impact on my kids. My daughter who's 20, my son who's 22 right now, they are both into fitness, love working out, and hearing my daughter talking about weight training, not because she wants to be skinny or anything like that, but she wants to get jacked. She wants to be muscular, she wants to be strong, she wants to thrive in all that she's doing. So that, to me, that just shows that I set a good example along the way. I never made any of my cutting phases about weight loss per se. It was always about me wanting to be my best, to become the best version of myself. So don't be afraid to ask your family, when you see me reaching for something, say, Dad, you don't want to do that. You know that's not going to serve you best. That's not going to allow you to live your life to the fullest. Or maybe you're going to tell your family, you know what, I want to have a small treat each and every day, but I want to be responsible with those portion sizes. So hold me accountable to just having those small portion sizes. And you never know, let your actions speak louder than your words. And you may find that although your family may not share the same goals as you and may not want to adopt the exact same lifestyle, they may pick up on some things. They may want to eat certain foods or do certain activities because they see how it's having such a positive impact on you. So that's the first route that I would go. And as I mentioned, I can totally relate to your situation. When my kids were younger, I lost 50 pounds of fat 12 years ago. So at that time, I was married. It wasn't that my ex-wife or my kids didn't share the same goals as me. They were very fit, very athletic. It's just that they could have all this junk food in the house that they enjoyed, and they could eat it responsibly. They had no problem. They naturally ate to the point of satisfaction. So they look at me going what the hell? How come you can't control yourself? I'd find that every time I'd be good for a few days, and then I'd go for a cookie. And as soon as I had one cookie, it led to two, it led to three, it led to the entire box. And next thing you know, I'm eating the tub of ice cream, and then I'm eating the kids' cereal there. And they look at me like, Dad, that's disgusting. What are you doing? Not only was it disgusting, but I felt disgusting. It just felt so uncomfortable from that situation. But the first thing that really flipped the switch for me was just being aware of what was going on in my mind at that time, that it would lead to that binge. So where the one cookie would turn to three, but the three would turn to the entire box. What was I telling myself? I was telling myself, you know what, you've been good for the past few days. You deserve this. It's okay. And then I was like, once you start eating a little bit more, and I kind of blew my diet. Let's just pig out, go nuts, and I'll start again fresh tomorrow. So I went through that cycle for a while there. So it wasn't until I became aware of those conversations and I had to develop counter arguments. Okay, this is exactly the conversation that's going on in your mind that has kept you stuck being 50 pounds over fat here. So you got to make a change here. You know you want to achieve this goal. You know why you want to achieve this goal. So let's just have one or two cookies and then move on to the next day. And let's just build some progress here rather than having to start over. So having that counter argument was the thing that really helped me out. But more than anything, it was accountability as well. So stating my goal publicly on social media, when it's on my YouTube channel, Facebook, Facebook groups, something like the Lose Fat Get Jacked Inner Circle, like those things, the accountability was huge. So not only did I state my goal of wanting to give myself six-pack abs for my 36th birthday, I booked a photo shoot, I paid for it in advance, I told everyone else I was doing a photo shoot. So I made sure that I broke it down to my weekly goals and I held myself accountable publicly to those weekly goals. So what you want to show to the world that when you set a goal, you are true to your word. You're going to achieve that. So that public accountability was huge. So being aware of the conversations, public accountability, that was huge for me losing that 50 pounds of fat 12 years ago. Now, after that, I went through 5 years of bulking and cutting. For that last cutting phase, so 7 years ago, I was looking at my kids, looking at my wife. I'm like, how is it that you guys just so naturally just eat to the point of satisfaction? What is it? And they're like, you know what, I can have a scoop of ice cream knowing that I can have some more tomorrow. Rather than that kind of feast or famine feeling that I get, it's probably the same thing that my dad gets. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna have this ice cream. I'm gonna eat it all now because I gotta be really good for the next day or the next few days there until I can have a cheat day again. And so that was like, you know what, I can have a little treat each and every day. I don't have to wait for the third day. I don't have to wait for every Friday night, which at that time, 7 years ago, every Friday night I was going out with the guys. So that last cutting phase, where I had to lose 20 pounds, 12-week process there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to allow myself to have a treat every day. I actually documented this whole process. So if you ever purchase any one of my programs on the Lose Fat Get Jacked website or join the Lose Fat Get Jacked Inner Circle or take part in my coaching experience, you'll get that 12-week diet, exactly everything I ate during that time. You'll see I had a small treat each and every day, but I was hitting a calorie target. It was anywhere between like 1,500 and 1,700 calories a day. And then on the Friday night, I made room for like upwards of like 2,800, sometimes 3,000 calories for that day. So I had more room in the bank to still achieve my weekly calorie target and kind of handle that situation. But what I found after that, like during that cutting phase, is like, you know what? I realized I can have a treat every day and still achieve my goal. So that was a good thing. That was a victory from that. But I realized with that kind of binge on the Friday night, that cheat day on that Friday night, I went to bed with acid reflux. I felt so full and bloated and uncomfortable. I slept like crap, so I felt like crap the next day. My performance and everything I was doing the next day sucked. My digestive system was out of whack. It's like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of feeling like this. I never want to feel overfull or stuffed ever again. So it's been 6.5 years, almost 7 years, since I've experienced that feeling of being overfull and stuffed. It became like my drive at that point was away from that pain. I never want to feel that pain again. I want to feel my best. I want to be thriving every single freaking day. So now I'm like, how can I eat to that point of satisfaction and not do that? And part of the reason in my head is whenever I'd be faced with those temptations, whether it's the food that's at home with my family that I had there or is out with the guys, I would eat to that point of satisfaction. And as soon as I was tempted to eat a little bit more, I'm like, you do not want to feel like crap again. You don't ever want to feel like that again. So this is the point when you stop. So that was a huge victory for me at that point. So that was 6.5, 7 years ago. And since then, my next breakthrough moment was like whenever I had a treat, I just had a heightened sense of awareness with, did I actually enjoy it? Was that treat worth it? Did it bring me the kind of joy or satisfaction or pleasure that I was expecting from that experience? And what I found is like a lot of the treats that I used to eat, like the peanut butter M&Ms and some of the chips, like it's like, you know what? I'm really not enjoying it all that much. I kind of feel yucky from it. I would much rather go to a cafe or a bakery or some restaurant where it's going to be like the most amazing dessert I've ever had and really savor every bite, really enjoy that experience to the fullest. Like if I want it to be worth it, if I'm going to have anything that I eat, the quality whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods or my favorite treats like that, I want to enjoy that meal, that food to the absolute fullest. So I'm always thinking, was that worth it? Is this worth it in this moment? So that's something I'm always questioning myself if I'm going to have something there. Again, like when it came to eating to that point of satisfaction, the big lesson I learned, I want to avoid that pain, but I really realized from that experience is like once you eat to that point of satisfaction, that's when that food is most enjoyable. Once you eat beyond that, you're not gaining any more pleasure from that experience. It's almost like it starts to diminish. The food doesn't taste as good as it did during those first few bites. And then it only leads to discomfort afterwards. So that was a huge aha moment for me. So always making progress, knowing that we're always going to be faced with some temptations, whether it's in the house or out and about in your travels throughout the day, whether it's in the office or just passing by a drive-through or watching commercials, whatever it is, whatever kind of temptations, they're always going to be there. You can't change that. You can't control that. The only thing you can control is how you handle those situations, how you react in those situations. So always try to get better and better and better. You're never going to be perfect. We're just trying to learn and grow through this process. So Manny, I really hope these tips and experiences have helped you. I hope everyone watching this has enjoyed the tips throughout this video, the shared experience in here. I would really love to hear your shared experience. What has worked for you? What has been the biggest challenges for you? So please take a moment to share them down in a comment below. If you did enjoy this video, please do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro is facing the same challenge as well, please do him a favor and share it with them. And before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Lose Fat, Get Jacked. Have yourself an amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.